Hello everyone. So today we are going to start with the new video on ledgers. Now let's not go too deep into the basics and all. Let us look at the ledgers. So this is the format for the ledgers. So we have date particulars and journal folio amounts, and then again dates particulars, journal folio and amounts. So this is for the credit side. This is for the debit side. This is a division for the account. So why do we prepare ledgers? Let us understand this first. See, we saw how to prepare the journal entries, right? So journal entries are passed in a book called as journal book or the journal book, right? Now what happens if I open the journal entries that we have passed in the previous classes? Let us see. So if I have to go to the journal entries that we have passed, now let us look at this entries itself. Look at these entries, okay? Look at these entries. So how are these entries passed? All of them are scattered on one or the different sides of the business, right? Now, if I want to say, let us say, I need to check how much is the cash inflow and cash outflow of my business for the year or during the month for that sake. Now, how to find this out using all journal entries? I need to sit and figure out where the cash entries have been taken up in the journal book, right? I don't have a single outlook as to this much is the inflow, this much is the outflow, and this is the remaining balance for the month or for the year. So we prepare something called as ledgers. Now what does ledger do? Let us see that. So in ledgers what we do is we prepare ledgers for each account that we have passed in the journal entry. So we prepare a ledger, a single ledger. This is the format of ledger. So we prepare a ledger for each kind of accounts or whatever accounts we have opened in the journal book or the journal entries. So this is my cash account. This will have the particulars over here and the amounts. Particulars and amount. This is my debit side, this is my credit side, right? All the inflows will come over here, all the outflows will come over here, and at the end I will have some balance for the same. So now all the cash entries, whatever was passed in the journal, has been taken up and put into the ledger. Now what I can see by looking at just the cash account, the cash ledger, I can figure out what is the inflow, what is the outflow, right? So why do we prepare ledgers? Because to get a holistic view of a single account, I can get a holistic view from what account, what has gone out, what has come in, or who has paid me, who has not yet paid me. All the view can look at looking at a single ledger, whichever I want to look at, right? So now let us look at how to prepare a ledger. I have taught you the five main heads, that is my asset, expenses, capital, income, and liability. The same thing we had used to prepare what? Prepare what? The journal entries. Now what we'll do? We will also prepare ledger books. Okay. So just look at the question for now. Look at the question. Look at the question now. This is the question number one from your test your knowledge. This is the question number one from your test your knowledge. Let us look at it. So journalize the following transactions and post them in ledger and balances of accounts as on 31st of December. So let us see how to pass the entries without passing any journal entries. Let us see how to prepare the ledger watches. So if you are someone who has passed the commerce PUC, in that case you might have seen that by passing the journal entries first and then we prepare the ledgers. Right? This is the second step of preparing the balance sheet and the final account, or the P&L and the balance sheet, the final account, what we call it as. So, in the second step, we generally refer to the first step. But I will today teach you how to not look at the first step, that is the basic journal entries, and just prepare the ledger entries or the ledger books. Let us see. By just using this rule, we will understand how to prepare the ledger books. Okay, let us look at the questions. For those of who are not yet well versed with the journal entries and the ledgers, please refer to the journal entries first and then come to this chapter. Okay. And the people who are not well versed with ledgers yet, so what they can do is they can just refer the same question in the textbook, because in the textbook they have solved the same question using journal first and then they have prepared the ledgers. But I will not again touch the journal entries because that is already dealt with. We will only look into how to prepare a ledger book for each of the account that is required as per the question. Okay, let us see. The first one. X started a business with capital of rupees 20,000. So now tell me, looking at the entry, what are the two accounts that will be opened? What are the two accounts that will be opened? So can I open capital account? Yes sir, I can open capital account. Then should I open X account? Should I open X account? No. Why? Because in the books of accounts, never ever we take the owner's name in the books of accounts. Instead of owner's name, what do we show? We show the capital account. Capital account is basically the amount that is put in by the owners of business in the business. Agree? So because of this, we never show the owner's name. X has started the business. That means what does it mean? X is the owner of the business or the proprietor of the business, right? So that's why X account won't be opened. Only capital account and one more account, double entry, right? We need to follow the double entry. Then what is the second account? That is cash account. That is cash account or the bank account for that sake. Okay, because all the entries have been given in cash, so we will open cash account itself. Now let us open two accounts. That is capital and cash account. Let us open cash account first. This will be my cash account. This is my debit. This is my credit. Okay. Now just put some arrow marks over here for now. Decrease, 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 increase. Now going ahead, let us see what happens. See, whenever the owner puts in the capital, whenever the owner puts in the capital, my cash balance in the business will increase or decrease. My cash balance in the books will increase or decrease. It will obviously increase, sir. Yes, whenever he puts in the cash, my balance will increase. Now, how to pass this in the ledger? Let us look at it. So, first of all, tell me, where can I categorize cash account out of my 5 heads? Out of my 5 heads, where can I categorize the cash account? Can I categorize it as asset? Yes, because it will always be shown under assets in the balance sheet. So, therefore, cash is what? My asset. Cash is what? My asset. Now, to pass the journal entry, to pass the ledger entry, what should we do? Let me tell you the nature how a ledger works. Let me tell you how the nature of the ledger works. See, always remember that. Let's just take the example of asset for now. Let us take the example of asset. So, where is the upward mark? Where is the upward mark? On the debit, right? So, any entry that you pass on the debit side, any entry that you pass on the debit side of the cash account or the asset account, it will increase the balance of that account. Increase the balance of that account. Okay. Now, where is the downward mark on the credit side? That means any entry you pass on the credit side will decrease its balance. Will decrease its balance. This is the rule that we need to follow for preparing the ledgers. Clear? For any asset account, if there is any increase in the balance, if there is an increase in the balance, we will debit the account. Or I can just mark it as increase will be taken on the debit side. Whatever the entries, whichever increases the cash balance or the asset balance in the books will be taken on the debit side of the cash account. Okay, the first rule. And anything which decreases the cash balance or the asset balance in the books will be taken on the credit side. Will be taken on the credit side. Clear? Now let us look at how to pass the entry over here. Now let us look how to pass the entry. Now, whenever the cash is brought in, which is the asset, it will increase the balance of the cash. Yes, sir. Now, where to pass the entry? Because my asset or my cash is increasing, so therefore, where will I pass the entry? Where will I pass the entry? Wherever there is the increase, where will I pass the entry? On the debit side. So on the debit side, to capital account. Never ever open the same account in the same account. What do I mean by this? In cash account itself, I won't be passing cash account entry. This is a total mistake. I won't be passing a cash entry in the cash account itself. Okay. So, what is the subsequent account then? How is the cash increased? Because I have received capital. That's why my cash balance is increasing. Right. So, that's why the entry will be passed under what account? Capital account. On what date? On 1st of April. So, December. On 1st of December. On 1st of December, the entry will pass. Now, what is the amount? 20,000 rupees. This is my first entry. So, there will be double entry now. Right. So, what is the next account that needs to be opened? It is capital account. We have opened cash account now. The next account is capital account. Let us open that also. Okay, so this is my capital account. Okay. Now, what is the nature of capital account out of my 5 heads? What is the nature of capital account? It is a capital itself. So it is belonging to the family number 2. So therefore, any entry I pass on the debit side, will decrease the balance of capital account. Any entry I pass on the debit side will decrease the balance of capital account. So I can just mark it as a downward arrow. Any entry I pass on the credit side will increase the value of the capital account, income account, or the liability account, whatever it can be out of three. Okay, any entry I pass on the credit side will increase the balance, any entry I pass on the debit side will decrease the balance. So therefore, anything I pass on the credit side will increase the balance. Now you tell me, whenever I receive cash into my business, receive cash into my business, the capital balance increases or decreases? The capital balance increases. So therefore, what to do? I will pass the entry on the debit side. So on December 1, by how have I received the capital account? How have I received the capital? By infusing cash into the business of rupees 20,000. Right? Any entry I pass on the credit side will increase the balance of capital account. Increase the balance of capital account. So therefore, I have passed the entry on the credit side of the capital account. On the same hand, on the cash account, I have passed the entry on the debit side. Why? Because any debit will increase the value of the asset in the ledger accounts. Okay, I am not at all deviating the rule. This rule, if you study properly, you can prepare the journal entries, ledgers, trial balance, P&L account. Till P&L account, this will be really helpful for you people. Okay, on the same rule, I will also be teaching you the rectification of errors. On the same rule, we will also learn how to prepare rectification entries for rectifying the books of accounts whenever there is an error. Okay, moving ahead. What is the next entry? So the first entry is done. Then he purchased goods from Y on credit. Now what has happened? He has purchased some goods on credit, it seems. So therefore, is there any cash inflow or outflow? No sir. Why? Because it is on credit basis. So therefore, it will be paid on the future date. Paid on the future date. Now, which account is opened? One is purchases account because I am purchasing the goods. One more account is my what? My Y's account. Why do I open Y account? Because he's my creditor. So therefore, I will open creditor's account now. So let us open two accounts. That is purchases account and Y's account. Purchases account and over here Y's account. For examination point of view, as per the format, there's a journal folio, right? So for examination, there is no requirement of drawing up a journal folio. Okay, no issues. So now, let us pass the entry. But before that, let us look at the nature of the account. So, out of 5 heads, what is purchases categorized as? Purchases expense, sir. Okay. So what is the nature of expenses? Any debit will increase the balance, any credit will decrease the balance, sir. Yes. So any debit will increase the balance, whereas any credit will decrease the balance. Why? Because purchases is a expense in nature. And for expenses, we know that any debit will increase the balance and any credit will decrease the balance. Okay, done. Now, what is Y to us? I have purchased goods from Y. So he is my debtor or creditor? He is my creditor. He is my creditor because I have to pay him on a future date. Right? So, what are creditors categorized as? Out of 5 heads? It is a liability, sir. Right? So, therefore, any debit will decrease the balance, any credit will increase the balance. Any debit will decrease the balance and any credit will increase the balance. So, therefore, on the debit, if I pass an entry, it will decrease the balance. And if I pass on the credit side, it will increase the balance. Right? So, therefore, this is the rule. Now, let us look at the entry. So, what has happened now? He has purchased goods for rupees 4,000 on a credit basis from Y. Now, whenever I purchase some goods, the value of purchases increases or decreases? It will increase. So, value of purchases increases. So, to what? I am skipping the dates, just make a note of it. So, to what? Can I pass the purchase account in purchases account itself? I cannot. What is the subsequent entry? It is Y's account. So, to Y's account. What is the value of goods? 5,000 rupees. 4,000 rupees. So, 4,000 was the value of goods. Why have I passed the entry on the debit side? Because any debit for an expense in nature kind of account, any debit will increase the balance of that particular account. Okay. Now, because of purchases, my value of purchase is increasing. So whenever it increases, expenses increases. So because of this, I will debit the account. Now coming to Y's account. Now you could tell me, Because I have purchased the goods on credit and not paid him. I have purchased the goods and not paid him. So therefore, will the balance of creditors increase or decrease? Will the balance of creditors increase or decrease? It will increase because today it was zero. Today it was zero, but tomorrow I have to pay him somewhat money, right? So it is increasing in my books of account up to rupees 4,000 rupees. So now creditors balance is increasing or decreasing? It is increasing, sir. So whenever there's an increase, I will credit the account. So by what? By purchases. Why is it increased? Because I have purchased some goods. Therefore, purchases account rupees 4,000. Then going ahead. Next, what has happened? He paid cash to Y. He has paid cash to Y rupees 2,000 rupees. So now he has paid some cash to Y to clear off his balance on the books. Right. So now how to pass the entry? Which are the two accounts that is affected? One is cash account. Why? Because cash is going out of the business. So one account is cash. Which is the second account? It is creditors account. Why? Because creditors balance, whatever was there, is reducing now because I am paying him the cash. So my liability is being reduced. Right. So whenever cash goes out of the business, whenever cash is going out of the business, in that case, cash balance will increase or decrease? It will decrease, sir. So whenever cash balance decreases, what will do? Whenever cash balance decreases or the asset balance decreases, we will pass the entry on the credit side of the books. So by what account? Why is the cash being reduced? Because I am paying it to Y, right? So to Y's account, rupees 2,000, rupees 2,000. Okay, done. Then going ahead. Now, in Y's account, tell me this. Because I am paying him, the whatever the balance was payable to him is reducing. See now, it was 4,000 rupees initially. I had to pay him 4,000 rupees. Now, because I have repaid him or I have paid him for 2,000 rupees, how much is remaining to be paid? 2,000 rupees remaining, right? So from 4,000, it has dropped down to 2,000 rupees. From 4,000, it has dropped down to 2,000 rupees. Because of this, what to do? Because of this, what to do? His balance is reducing. The creditor's balance in my books of account is reducing. Because of this, whenever there is a reduction in the value of creditors, I will debit the account. So 2. Why is it reducing? Because I have paid him cash to cash account. Rupees 2,000. Rupees 2,000. Okay, yeah. This entry is also done. Then next. This is done. Okay. He sold goods to Z. Now two different accounts for rupees 4,000. Now I am selling some goods. So to whom? To Z. Have they given anything about cash payment or bank payment? Anything about the cash or bank is mentioned? No, sir. So therefore, what does it mean? It is implied that I have paid him with on a credit. I have sold him the goods on credit basis. Right. Now, what are the two accounts that needs to be opened? One is sales account because I have sold him goods, and one more account is Z's account. So let us open sales account. Debit, credit, and over here we will open Z's account. Right. Now what is Z to me? What is Z as per my books of accounts? He is my what? He is my debtor. Right? He is my debtor because he is supposed to pay me. I have sold him goods. Now he is supposed to pay me on a future date. So therefore he is my debtor. Now let us look at the nature. So sales. Out of my 5 heads, what is sales? Out of my 5 heads, what is sales? It is a income. Right? I am selling a good, so I am getting an income. Now, any debit entry will decrease the balance, any credit entry will increase the balance. Any debit entry will decrease the balance, any credit entry will increase the balance. So, now let us write the same. Any debit will decrease the balance and any credit will increase the balance. Now, going towards Z. Z is what? Z is our debtor. So, therefore, he is an asset. Debtors are always an asset, right? So, any debit will increase the balance, any credit will decrease the balance. Any debit will increase the balance, any credit will decrease the balance. So, write the same over there. Debit will increase the balance and credit will decrease the balance as per my books of accounts. Now, let us pass the entry. So, what has happened? What was the transaction? That he has sold goods to Z for rupees 4,000 on a credit basis. On a credit basis, he has sold some goods to Z, right? So, now, how to pass the entry? Now, tell me, coming to sales. Has my sales increased or decreased? This is the first sale transaction I am doing today. Right? It was 0 before. Now I have made some sales. So sales balance is increasing. So whenever the sales increases, I will credit the account. So now credit the account. By what? I am selling it to Z. He has paid me. No, if he had paid me, it would have been by cash account. But he has not paid me anything yet, right? So it will be by Z's account, rupees 4,000. Rupees 4,000. Agree with this? Then, going ahead. Now let's open Z's account. In Z's account, he is my debtor. He is supposed to pay me on a future date. Before this particular transaction, what was the balance of Z in my books? It was zero. It was zero, right? Now the balance has increased. Why? Because I am selling some goods and he has not paid me yet, right? So because of this, the balance will be increased. So whenever the debtor's balance increases, I will debit the account. So to what? Why is the balance increased? What was the reason? To sales account. How much? Rupees 4,000. This is a view. Pass the entry for sales. This is done. Next, going ahead. So my fourth entry is also done. Now next. He received cash from Z. Rupees 6,000. Oh my god. Wait a minute. I have sold him a good of rupees 4,000. He has paid me a cash of rupees 6,000. Why did he pay me extra? It is the advance amount received from the debtor. It is the advance amount of rupees 2,000 received from the debtor. Now let us pass the entry for this. So Z has paid me the cash. So what are the two accounts that are affected? One is cash and one more is Z's account. One is cash and one more is Z's account. Now look at it. Now look how to pass the entry. So because he has paid me the cash, will my cash balance increase or decrease? It will increase, sir. Whatever, if I receive cash, it will increase, sir. So therefore, on what side should I pass the entry? I will pass the entry on the debit side. 2. From whom I received the money? From Z's account. To Z's account. So this would be rupees. How much? 6,000. Rupees 6,000 is received from Z. One more account is getting affected. It is Z's account. So let me go to Z's account. Z's account. Okay. So now Z has paid me the cash. Whatever balance was remaining has become zero and increased towards credit side, right? So because of this, the entry will be passed on the on the credit side, because I need to reduce the balance in his account. So by what? By cash. He has paid me cash, so cash account. Rupees 6,000. Now tell me, on what side the balance has come? For now, let us stop till here. Let us take a break from the entries and let us look at the ledger first. Let us understand what is it saying us. What does it want to say us? Let us see that. So if I see what is the balancing figure, my credit is more or my debit is more. My credit is more or my debit is more. My credit side is more, right? So therefore this means that Z will be categorized as a creditor in my books of accounts. It means that Z will be categorized as a creditor in my books of account, because the credit side is more than the debit side. If I have to open the creditor's account, see over here also the credit side is more than what? The debit side. So remember this always. A person who is a debtor can also become a creditor. A person who is a creditor can also become a debtor in my books of account. It only depends on the closing balance of the ledger books. Tomorrow he can be a debtor and today he might be a creditor also. Okay, it can interchange at any point of time depending on the sales, purchases, cash payments, cash receipts, anything. Depending on the cases, it might vary. Okay, cool. So it's not a hard and fast rule saying that this is this. Okay, then let's continue. Now, this is done. He further purchased goods from Y. Rupees 4,000. Okay. Now what are the two accounts affected? Again, purchases account and Y's account. Let us pass the entry for rupees 4,000. So he has purchased goods. So because of the purchases, will my balance of purchase increase or decrease? It will increase. So therefore, 2 on the debit side. Why? Because any increase will be affected on the debit side in the purchases account. We have seen it, right? So 2 Y's account again, because I am purchasing the goods without paying anything. If I would have paid something, my cash account would have been affected. Right? But now, which account is being affected? Only Y's account, because I have not paid the money. That's why. Okay, so again, value of rupees 4,000 is pending. And one more account is Y's account. So again, by purchase, why on the credit side? Because any entry you pass on the credit side will increase the balance. Of the creditors. This is why I am passing the entry on the credit side, because he has to pay me on a future date. He has to pay me on a future date. So buy purchases again. Rupees 4,000. Rupees 4,000. Then going ahead. Now he paid cash to Y for rupees 2,000. I have, or he, Mr. X has paid cash to Y. Mr. X has paid cash to Y, right? So because of this, what will happen? I have paid cash, so cash is going out of the business and the cash balance is reducing. To whom it is paid? To Y. I have purchased goods, right? He was my debtor. He was my debtor before. Now I have paid him cash. I have paid him cash. Sorry, he was my creditor before. Now I have paid him cash. So because of this, his balance in my books will reduce. His balance in my books will reduce. So cash balance is reducing because I am paying cash, right? So buy Y's account rupees 2,000 again, and on the Y's account he has received the cash. I have paid the cash. His balance is reducing. The creditor's balance is reducing. Whenever the creditor's balance reduces, we will debit the account. 2 cash account rupees 2,000 account. Next, moving ahead. This is also done. He further sold goods to Z. Again he is making a sale to Mr. Z. Again he is making a sale to Mr. Z now. Now let us look at what happens. So whenever sales is made to Mr. Z, two accounts that will be opened. Z's account and cash account, because here, Z's account and sales account. Two accounts will be opened up, right? So now where to pass the entry first? On the sales account. Sales is increasing, my income is increasing, right? My income is increasing, so therefore I will create the entry. So buy to whom? Z's account. Is cash received? No. So rupees 4,000 is the entry. Rupees 4,000 is the entry. Now in Z's account what will happen? In Z's account what will happen? He is a debtor to me. He is supposed to pay me now. Right, on a future date he is supposed to pay me. That's why his balance should increase in my books of accounts now. Because I have sold him some goods, so balance should increase. So now because of this, what will happen, sir? What will happen? 2 sales. Why? Because he's a debtor, and to increase the balance of debtor, I will have to debit the account. So 2 sales account. Rupees 4,000. Rupees 4,000 is the entry to be passed. Done. This is also done. Now going ahead, last entry. He received cash from Z. Make it from Z rupees 2,000. He is receiving cash now. So which are the two accounts affected? Z is paying me cash. Right? So because of this, Z's account will decrease and I have received cash. So cash account will increase. So let us see how to pass the entry. So cash is increasing. So therefore where to pass the entry? Whenever there is an increase in the cash account, I will debit the account. So on the debit side, 2 Z's account rupees 2,000. Now in Z's account, he has paid me cash. He was a debtor before. Now debtor's balance is increasing or decreasing, sir? It is decreasing. So therefore buy cash account rupees 2,000. Are we done? Yes, we are done. Now the next step is to close the ledgers. Now the next step is to close the ledger books. Now how to do it? We need to balance the books. Now how to balance the books? So add all the entries on debit side, add all the entries on credit side, and look where the balance comes up. So I won't be adding it all the once. So 2,000 plus 6,000 plus 2,000 minus 2,000. That would be rupees 600. 6,000. This will be called as buy balance carried on. Some of you might have a issue here. Okay, let me tell you what. Write the totals over here. Write the totals in this column, and this whatever balance is there, will be carried forward to the next financial year on the debit side. The balance whatever was there on the credit side will be carried forward to the debit side. This is how the balancing and the carry forward is done. So to balance brought down rupees 6,000. This is how you carry forward the balance. Now some of you might have a confusion in this carry down, brought down. Let me tell you how to remember this. Remember this always. CD. So the CD comes before BD. So CD, if you see, CD always comes before BD. So remember this, CD always comes before CD always comes before BD. BD we had read. BD. Okay. Then going ahead, going ahead. Capital account. Any entries in capital account? There were no entries. So straight away, to balance carried on 20,000. So write the totals over here. Then this will be carried forward on the credit side to balance brought down rupees 20k again. Then going ahead, we have purchases account. So simple in simple terms, 8,000 on the credit side will balance the account. So basically on the both the sides the amount should be equal. On here it is 8,000. On here it is 8,000. It should match basically. So now this will be called as balance by balance carried down, and over here on the debit side to balance brought down. To balance brought down will be what? Rupees 8,000 again. Whatever the balance you had over here will be taken over towards the debit side, and if it was on the credit side, it will be taken on the other hand. Okay, ulta you do. Then vice account. Now let us see what has happened over here. 2,000, 2,000, 4,000, 4,000. So basically this is 4,000 for 8,000. 4,000 is the remaining balance. So on this side, to balance carried down. How much? Rupees 4,000. Write down the totals. And on this side, by balance brought down. How much? Rupees 4,000. Rupees 4,000. Okay. Then next, sales account. Again 8,000 rupees over here. Then to balance carried down. To balance carried down. Totals and by balance brought down. Rupees 8,000. Over here 448,628. So basically this account has already been tallied and no balance is remaining at the year end. That means, is Mr. Z supposed to pay us? He was our debtor, right? He was our debtor before. Now is Mr. Z supposed to pay us anything? Nothing. Nothing, sir. Why? Because his balance is closed completely. His account is closed completely. Are we supposed to pay him something? Are we supposed to pay him something? Nothing. Because his account is closed. But what about vice account? What about vice account? What does it show us? What does vice account show us? It tells us that 4,000 rupees has been brought down on the credit side, that is increased, right? So we are supposed to pay him how much? 4,000 rupees on a future date. While taking all the entries into consideration, I have come to a conclusion that 4,000 rupees is payable to him on a future date. Now over here it shows us total purchases we have made. This shows us total amount of sales we have made. Then cash account. What does the cash account tell us? That at the year end there is a balance remaining for rupees 6,000. Well, there is a balance remaining for rupees 6,000. Then what does capital account show? Capital account shows us that there is a capital balance of rupees 20,000 remaining in the books of accounts. Okay, this is how we pass the ledger entries. Now let us see what is called what. What is called what? Now if I ask you, what kind of a balance does cash account have? What kind of a balance does cash account have? Is it debit or is it credit? Is it debit or is it credit? Now how to find out quickly? On a instance. Again come back to the same thing. Now we should close your eyes and only look at the increase symbol. Look at only the upward arrow. Wherever there is an increase, only look at it. So for the family number A, the first family, assets and expenses, wherever there is a upward arrow, that is debit. So that means assets and expenses will always have a debit balance. Whereas my capital, income and liability will have a credit balance, because the upward arrow is on the credit side or the increase is on the credit side. So that means cash account or any other asset account will always have a debit balance. Let us prove it now. We know that cash is an asset. Cash is an asset. So always remember this. Never ever look at the balances from this point of view, from the carried on point of view. Always look at it from a brought down point of view, or else you will get your answers wrong. Always look at the account from a brought down point of view. So as per the brought down point of view, on which side the balance has come? On the debit side. So that means my cash account has a debit balance. My cash account has a debit balance. Now, let us go to the capital account. As per the rule, where is the where is the increase? As per the rule, where is the increase? On the credit side, right? So capital account will have what kind of balance? Will have credit balance. So prove it. See, brought down has come on credit side. The brought down balance has come on the credit side. So that this proves that whatever rule we have studied before, the 5 heads rule, this is also working in this part. Okay, where will this particular part be important? We will study it further. In the trial balance, we will come to know. Then, vice account. Vice what? Our creditor. So creditors are our liability. Are our liability. So what kind of balance does liability or the creditors account have? It will have a credit balance. It will have a credit balance. Again, go back to the rule. Then coming to purchases. What is purchases out of 5 heads? It is a expense. So where was the upper arrow for the expenses? On the debit side. So if I have to see on the debit side, I have the closing balance. I have the balance of purchases account on the debit side. On the debit side. Okay. Then going ahead, sales account. What is sales? What is sales to us? It is a income. Sales is our income, right? So always sales account has a credit balance. So therefore, credit balance because it is a income account. If I have to see income, if I have to see a income, it is on the credit increase. This is how we find the closing balance. See, for Z's account, we don't have a balance, so no point of looking. But let us say this entry was not there. Let us say this cash entry was not there, right? So then the balance would have been how much? 4,000 for 8,000 minus 6,000. That would have been 2,000 over here. This would have been carried forward over here on this side. On the debit side, it would have been carried forward. So that therefore, where the balance would have been on the debit side. So debtors will have a debit balance. Simple. Why debtors will have a debit balance? Because debtors are my asset, and wherever there is an increase symbol, it will have that particular balance. Now, let us write it down somewhere. Okay, and I will teach you how to prepare a trial balance using the same ledgers. How to prepare a trial balance using the same ledgers. Let us write it down somewhere. Okay, what I will do is I will just write on the closing figures. I will just write on the closing figures and try to figure out where to put it on the trial balance. Let us see. First of all, we have cash account. We have cash account on rupees particulars. Cash account has how much balance? Rupees 6,000. Rupees 6,000 is the closing balance. Then capital account has 20,000 rupees. Capital account has 20,000 rupees. Yes, 20,000 capital. Capital account has 20,000 rupees. Then next, purchases account has a closing balance for the balance of 8,000. I am not writing debit or credit. I am not at all taking into consideration debit or credit. Why? You will see. Purchases account will have how much? What's that? 8,000. Has 8,000. Okay. Then next, buys account who was a creditor is having what? 4,000 as a balance. Buys account. For the sake of understanding, I will just write creditor. Okay. How much? 2,000. So it was 4,000, I guess. It was 4,000. Sorry. It was 4,000. Then we have sales account. Sales account has how much balance? Always look from a broad down point of view. I am telling you, please don't get confused. Always look from broad down point of view. BD point of view. Okay. Sales account has 8,000. Sales account has 8,000 in balance. Good. Then does any balance is remaining for Z's account? There is no balance. There is no balance for Z segment. It is tallied complete. It is matching. The debit and credits are equal. So there is no balance remaining to be paid or to be received. Now using this, let us prepare a trial balance. Now what is a trial balance? What is trial balance? See, just like how every journal entries were scattered here and there, and I had to bring it together to form one single ledger account, right? We had found one single ledger. For example, purchases. If I look at the purchase account, I will just figure out how much is the purchases done during the year, right? How much is the purchases done during the year? I can just look at it and figure it out, right? So Now if I see, all the closing balances of different ledger accounts is scattered everywhere. Is scattered everywhere. I have to turn the pages here to just look at the closing balance. If I have only the ledger book, so now for to get it on a single page or a single view, I should find out the balances of all the ledgers. Of all the ledgers, the balances I should figure out. So we prepare something called as a trial balance. A trial balance, which is again you prepared using the methods of double entry system. Using the methods of double entry system. So what does that mean? The debit side of the trial balance and the credit side of the trial balance should match. Should match. Now let us see how to prepare it. Let us see how to prepare it. So if I have to put up the format, if I have to put up the format will be a simple thing. Particulars and debit, and on this side credit. Credit on this side. This is a basic one. Let's put up the lines over here. No issues. Now let us go on finding out debit credit. Debit credit. Okay. So first of all, let me just copy this. Now let us look at the let us look at the rule and prepare a trial balance simultaneously. This is my trial balance. I just write it down. This is my watch trial balance. Trial balance. Okay. Yes. Now first account. Cash account. What is cash? Let us say the question says only these balances are given you. Only these many balances are given to you. Debit and credit you need to figure out now. Now how to do it? Without looking at the ledgers, how to do it? That's what I'm teaching you people. You can actually look at the ledgers, figure out where the brought down balance is. Depending on debit or credit, you can take it to trial balance. That is the way I won't teach you. I will teach you how to prepare a trial balance just by looking at the balances. Whether debit or credit, I don't know. Just looking at the balances and the account names, I will show you how to prepare a trial balance. I won't spoon feed you anything today. Okay, all things are practical. Now, again, looking at the rule. So, what is cash account? Out of 5 heads, out of my 5 heads, what is cash account? It is a asset. So, what should I look at? I should look at arrow upwards. ऊपर देखने का है मेरे को. पता है ना? ऊपर देखने का है. So, now, because of this, arrow mark is on the debit side. So, that means cash account will have a debit balance. Simple. So, my cash account will have a debit balance of rupees 6,000. I will write it on the debit side. I will write it on the debit side. Then, going ahead. We have capital account. We have capital account. So capital is categorized as capital itself out of 5 heads. So where is the upward arrow? ऊपर कहाँ पर है? यहाँ पे sir. On the credit side we have a upward arrow. On the credit side we have a upward arrow. So again capital account. Again capital account. Where to pass the entry on the credit side? So capital account has a balance of 20,000 rupees. Second part done. Then going ahead. Then we have purchases account. What is purchases out of my 5 heads? Out of my 5 heads, what is purchases? It is a expenses, sir. It is a expenses, right? So purchases. Again, look at the upward arrow. Where is it? On the debit. So purchases account will have a debit balance. Purchases account will have a debit balance of rupees 8,000. Rupees 8,000. Yes. Okay. Then next. Y's account. What is Y? He was our creditor. He was our creditor. So what is creditor out of 5 heads? Out of 5 heads, what is creditor? It is a liability. It is a liability. So where is upward arrow? Upward arrow is on the credit side. So therefore, my Y's account will have a credit balance. So I go creditors or that's Y account, whatever you want to write. Y's account, a creditor. So on the credit side, I will have a balance of rupees 4,000. 4,000. Okay. Good. Now, sales account. Sales account is what out of 5 heads? It is a income. It is a income. Sales account is a income. Where is the upward arrow? On the credit side. So pass the entry on the credit side. Okay, I made a small mistake. I've got a small mistake over here. This was 20,000 rupees, okay? This was 20,000 rupees. I've taken it as 2,000 rupees. Let me just correct it now. Just make small corrections. Okay, nothing changes, nothing changes. That's a small error. So 20,000 plus 6,000 plus 2,000 minus 4,000. That would be 24,000. No, 24,000. 24,000. Okay, small error from my side. Sorry for that. So I just changed the balance here also. It is 24,000. Okay, and I will subsequently change it here also. It is 4,000. 24,000. Now, now find out the totals of both the sides. Let us find out. 24 plus 8 would be how much? 6, 32. 32,000. And on this side, 20 plus 8, 28 plus 4, 32,000. What has happened? My debit is equal to my credit, and we have that means we have followed the double entry system efficiently and perfectly. We have followed the double entry system perfectly. Now if you see, how did I figure out that the cash account balance was wrong? How did I figure out that the cash account balance was wrong? Because my debit and credits were not matching. My debits and credits were not matching because the 20,000 was here, 6,000 was here. So obviously it would not match, right? So now I found out, okay, where it might miss. So I checked at my capital account, it was 20,000 rupees. Then I went back to my ledgers, I saw the question properly and figured out that I had missed this part and the cash account only showed me 6,000 rupees and not 24,000. So इससे हमें क्या सीख मिलती है? What is the moral of the story? That once I prepare the trial balance, debit should be equal to credit. So what does this mean? That whatever errors you make, you can go back and check what that error was. Clear? I had intentionally made the mistake. It was not a mistake. It was an intentional mistake. Okay, fine. So my trial balance has tallied. So this is how you prepare a trial balance. A simple trial balance. See, from the examination point of view, they will not ask you to prepare ledgers and trial balance. They will not ask you to prepare trial balance or other ledgers. And why is it taught to you then? Why the hell is this taught to you? Because in the subsequent chapters, in the big chapters, you might have to prepare ledgers for those chapters. Right? Wherever required, for signatory system, for bills of exchange, or for any other chapter, the company's account, the partnership account, you might have to prepare the ledger account. So that's why they are giving you the basic knowledge of ledger accounts in this part itself. In this part itself, they are giving you the basic knowledge of ledgers. So then where is trial balance used? Trial balance is used in the final accounts of sole proprietorship. In that chapter, the trial balance becomes really important because they will just give a trial balance and ask you to prepare the P&L and the balance sheet. This is the next step after trial balance, the fourth and fifth step. The trial balance is the third stage of preparing the books of accounts, the set of accounts, right? So now, why is trial balance important? Just to know, just to make you people understand how does the trial balance work. Because of this, you will come to know how to prepare the remaining account. That is the P&L account and the balance sheet account. Okay, cool. So now we will try to solve one more sum on trial balance. So ledgers is done. Whatever question is remaining in the books, you can just go on solving it. Okay, those might not be so important, but if you want, you can just try it out. So as to understand the whole concept of ledgers easily. Okay, going towards the trial balance. Now, this is our trial balance. Okay, so what has happened? So they have given you all the balances over here. Zoom it in. So as per illustration 5, for the following is the trial balance on 31st March was drawn from the books of accounts of fintech traders. Okay, then what have they given you? Even though the debit and credit sides are agreeing, the trial balance contains certain errors. Check the accuracy of trial balance. Okay. See, I had told you that trial balances will match. Trial balance totals will tally, right? I had told you that my debit and credit will match. In this case, my debit and credits are matching. In this case, is my debit and credit matching? Yes, sir. But what has happened? There are certain errors it seems. What has happened? There is something called as compensating errors. Some amount which should have been put on the debit side are on the credit side. But on with what amount? With double amount. Because of this, the trial balance will tally. Okay. Now we need to figure out which are the wrong ones. Okay. Let us go on marking one of them. Look at the rule. Look at the rule. I have put the rule up over here, and we need to see whether the balances given as per this is correct or wrong. If it is wrong, just shift it on the next side. If it is debit, shift it on the credit side. If it's credit, shift on the debit side. Okay, let's go on looking at it. So first of all, building. Let me just mark it in the different color. Okay, in the red color. Okay. Let's mark it in red color. Building. Building is an asset. Building is an asset. Where will the upward arrow be? I will just put up the upward arrow. Increase. Increase. Okay. Now we'll just look at the upward arrows. Just look at the upward arrows. Now, building 60,000 rupees on the debit side. Is this proper or wrong? Building is an asset. Increase debit. Correct. So no touching this. Then machinery. Once again, it's an asset. Once again, it's an asset. So therefore increase. So I can take it as a debit balance. It is proper. Next, returns outward. Returns outward. I have bought some goods. I have purchased some goods. Now I am giving it back. I am giving it back. Purchase was a expense. Purchase was a expense. But I am giving it back. I am giving it back. It is a reduction in the expenses. It is a reduction in expenses. Can I take reduction in expenses as income? Can I take for the purpose of trial balance only? For the purpose of trial balance only, can I consider reduction of expenses as income? Yes, I will. What I will do is I will take it as an income. I will take it as an income, and incomes will have credit balance. So incomes will have what kind of a balance? It will have a credit balance. So therefore, returns outward is showing me a debit balance. Instead, which balance should it have? It should have a credit balance. This is wrong. This is wrong. Going ahead. Then we have bad debts. What are bad debts? My friend Shashank ran away with my money. My friend Shashank ran away with the money. So because of this, what happens? Because of this, it will be a bad debt. It will be bad debt. It's the expense account. Expenses, upward arrow. So debit. Is it having a debit balance? Yes, sir. So it is proper. Then cash account. Cash account is again an asset. Increase or the upward arrow. ऊपर देखने का है हमको. So ऊपर. So debit. Again, cash has debit balance. Then discount received. I have received the discount. So it is a income or expense. I have received a discount. So it's a income to me. Income, upward arrow, credit. But what is the balance given over here? It's a debit balance. So this is wrong. This is again wrong. Then going ahead. Bank overdraft. What is bank overdraft? I have taken an OD from a bank. I have overdrawn my account from a bank. So it is a liability because on a future date I have to pay the bank back. Right? From zero it has become negative now. I have overdrawn my account. What is the balance was there? So because of this I have to pay the bank on a future date, or else they will penalize me for that. So to avoid that penalty, I should pay them back. So it is a liability that is payable on a future date. So therefore, liability increase credit, but bank overdraft they have taken on the debit side. So this is wrong. Then going ahead, creditors. Again, creditors are my liability. Creditors are my liability. Increase credit. So this is taken on the debit side. So this is also wrong. Then going ahead, purchases. What are purchases? Purchases. I have purchased the goods. It is a expense to me. I have to pay for the purchases, right? So it's a expense for me. So expenses is increase. So debit balance. So is it a debit balance? Yes, sir. It is a debit balance. So don't touch it. Then purchases done. It is proper. Then capital account. Capital account. Capital account is categorized as again capital account. Upward arrow credit. Upward arrow credit. So it's on the credit side. So no touching it. This is also proper. Then we have fixtures. Fixtures are categorized as asset. Okay. If some of you don't know the meaning of fixtures, furnitures, fixtures and fittings are considered as one together. Whatever the electrical fittings we do, right? Electrical fittings and fixtures are one and the same. Fixtures are taken on the credit side, but fixtures are what? Are assets. Asset increase debit. So is it debited? Is it debited? No, sir. So this is wrong. Then going ahead, we have sales account. Sales account is we have sold some goods. I have sold some goods. I am selling some goods. So because of this, sales account is income. Sales account is income. So therefore, income is increasing. So therefore, credit. It is credited. So it is proper. Then we have debtors account. Debtors are our assets. Upward arrow debit. So debited. But it is credited. So therefore, this is also wrong. The debtors balance is wrong. Then going ahead. Interest received. I have received some interest. I have received some interest. right? So it's a income to me, income, upward arrow, credit. Is it credited, sir? Yes, it is credited. Then now listen to me really carefully because we have studied in the general chapter. I am just repeating it once again. Whatever input CGST, SGST, IGST we have, it is a asset or a liability. Remember the class we have done on the journal entries. Whatever input tax credit for when do I receive an input tax credit? Whenever I am purchasing a good, whenever I am paying some expenses, whenever I am paying for some expenses, I will get a input tax credit. What is input tax credit, sir? It is a credit that I can use towards my output liability to pay to the government. I had paid 1000 while purchasing the goods to the my supplier. He will deposit it with the government. With the government. Tomorrow government will give me a credit of this. Tomorrow government will give me a credit of this. Can I withdraw this? No, I cannot withdraw this. But where can I use this credit? To set off my output liability. Whenever I sell a good, I get the GST. While paying this off the government, government says don't pay me the whole amount. Modi ji says don't pay me the whole amount by ban or bio. Pay me only the differential amount after setting off the input tax credit. So by this, what can we understand? The ITC or the input tax credit is my asset. Is my asset. So asset increase debit. But what have they done? For all the inputs they have taken on the credit side. So all the input credits are on the wrong side. Take it on the debit side. Take it on the debit side. Then coming to output credit. Sorry, output liability. Output liability. Remember the word output liability. We had studied it before. Okay. Output liability is what? Is my liability, sir. The word itself is liability. क्या आप पागलों की तरह बात कर रहे हो सर आप? और it is a output liability. So it is categorized as a liability. Liability up and credit. So, but where are they take the amount on the debit side? So take it on the credit side, and you're done. And you're done. Okay. Now we have found all the errors. We have found all the errors. Now what you need to do is sit and just change the sides. Just change the sides. Take it on the debit side. Sorry, on the credit side. Take these amounts on the credit side. Take these amounts on the debit side. All these wrong ones on the debit side. Here on the credit side. And make a total of it. Make a total of it and see if it tallies. See if it tallies. Okay. So by this, if it, I'll check the answer. It tallies. Okay. This won't be the balances, but there will be different balances, and debit will be equals to the credit side. Okay. Yes. So by this we are done with trial balance also. See, there are two different trial balances formats given to you in the book. One is balance method and one is the total method. In total method, what we do is we just take out the totals of the ledgers without balancing them. Without balancing them, we just take out the totals and just go on writing it on the debit side, credit side, and so on. At the end, if we total all the debits and all the credits, the total will match. The total will match. Okay, this is how we prepare the totals method. But this is the balancing method, which is used in every books of accounts. In every books of accounts, we will prepare this method. So for examination point of view also, from the examination point of view also, this will be important. But if you want, you can just go through the balances method, because in I think illustration number 1 or 2, they have solved the question with both the methods. For single trial ledgers, they have given you the question and they have solved with both the methods. But I have taught you only the method that is going to be beneficial in the future chapters. Okay, so if you want, you can just go through the totals method. It is a really easy method. I hope you can really crack it. So basically what they do is, the ledger account, whatever you have, it has some totals, right, on the debit side, credit side. Before balancing it, if I have to show you, see what they do is they ignore this completely. They ignore this completely, and what they do is they total this and they total this. Now what is the totals? If I have to write, what are the totals? On this side, the total is how much? 262. It will be 10,000. On this side, it will be what? 4,000. So simply, 26 plus 2, 28. Sorry, this is 28. Again, same mistake. Okay. On this side it is 28k. On this side it is 4,000. Right. This is taken to the trial balance. On the debit side of the trial balance, they show 28k. They write cash account. So 28k. On the credit side, they show how much? 4,000. This is how they prepare the trial balance using totals method. Okay, they don't balance it and just take the figures blankly. They just total the debit side, total the credit side, and take the balances. That's how they do it. Okay, but we will not go through it. If you want, you can just have a look at it for the examination point of view. But as per me, they have never ever asked trial balance the question. Why? Because it's a free question. So that's why they won't ask you the trial balance. That's my assurity towards you. So I recommend to skip it. Okay. So by this we are done with ledgers and we are done with trial balance. Cool. Whatever the questions are remaining in the textbook are your responsibility. Yes. Thank you.